What is going on, Pacer Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice Pacers. Guys, after the Pacers blowout victory in Game 6 back at home, the Indiana Pacers have forced a Game 7 against the Oklahoma City Thunder for everything, Cody. One final game to decide it all, the fate of the NBA season, where both of these franchises could get their first NBA championship, modern NBA championship. This could be it for either team here. Huge implications on the line, Cody. The last time that we saw a Game 7 in an NBA Finals was the 2016 Finals, where the Cavs infamously came back from a 3-1 deficit and were able to pull off the upset in Golden State. And that was the last time we saw something of this magnitude. I mean, Cody, we obviously have become, bigger Pacer fans over the last few years here. But I mean, even for most Pacers fans, I don't know if any of us truly thought that the Pacers could actually legitimately not only make it to the finals, but also take it to 7 games against, one of the best teams that we've seen in recent decades. So, I mean, what's your feeling like knowing that the Indiana Pacers are in a Game 7 and that there is a chance that this team wins an NBA championship on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, first off, shout out to the people who said this was going to be a boring finals. I mean, looking hilarious now. But yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, this is a team only a couple of years removed, Derek, from, being one of the worst teams in the NBA, right? Remember, I think it was 22, they traded for Tyrese Halliburton. They were not good in 22 at all. And, so they've come a long way in a short amount of time. I mean, even last year, Derek, they were surprising everybody that they got to the Eastern Conference Finals when they did. And they put up a darn good fight without Tyrese Halliburton. I know they got swept, but a lot of those games were very close. So
yeah,
it's very cool to see this team just take it to another level this year. And I really do believe, Derek, last year was so valuable for this team, being able to, play the Bucks, play the Knicks, play the Celtics, even though they got swept. I mean, I think it had to make these guys grow up a lot. It really matured this team in a lot of ways that they needed to be matured and grown in. And so it's impressive to see, man. I mean, we thought this team would just continue to get better because there was a lot of, kind of mismatching a little bit at the end of the year. You had some guys, getting traded. You just had some new starters, all this stuff. Obviously, you had Pascal Siakam come in. So there was a lot of stuff going on, from pretty much the start of 2024 on to when the Pacers eventually, lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. But this year, I mean, you expected this team to be better, but you're right. I don't think anybody expected this team to, do what they did. I expected them to be competitive, but man, they've taken it to another level this year with what they've done, right? And like you said, this is a historically good Oklahoma City team that the Pacers are right there with. And it just seems like every time you think you can count the Pacers out, they do something to prove you wrong. Man, I tell you what, everybody said after that blown game, and I think it was Game 4, when the Pacers should have won that game, everybody said, series is over. Pacers are going to lose. It's not happening. And obviously the series isn't over yet. But here we are, man. They responded from, 2 really bad performances. And I think their first back-to-back loss this entire playoffs. So it's been very impressive, to say the least, against, one of the best teams we've seen in a long time. So, yeah, it's just been really cool to see this team just lean on each other. And even when their backs are against the wall, to see them come out and perform, how they did, not even shooting the ball super great in that game, but coming out and really winning by 30 at that point. I know the backups came in. It was looked a little bit closer, but it was a freaking impressive response, man. Like that set the tone for this is going to be a long series. Like you're not just going to win in our house. And I just thought that was so impressive by this team and just the resolve that they show that they're not out till the final buzzer. They're not out until zeros are on the clock. Like they are constantly going to play to win. And that's the kind of stuff you need, man, from this team that all year long, they've just continued to impress. They had a slow start to the season. And then from January on, this team has been red hot. I mean, it's been so amazing to see this run the Pacers have had. And, every single series, Derek, we've seen opposing fan bases saying, oh, this team's going to lose in 5. This team's going to lose in 6. Well, here we are in the NBA Finals, and the Pacers have taken the best team in the NBA to 7 games. That is impressive in itself. For a team that a couple years ago, nobody expected this team to do anything. But here we are, 2 years later, and here we are. The Pacers now have a chance, like you said, to win it all for the first time in franchise history.
Yeah, and it's definitely been a tough road to get here. This finals has definitely been very up and down for this Indiana Pacers team. And now you go into a game 7, Halliburton is not 100%. And obviously you're going into this next game, you're going to be on the road. And we all know just what the Oklahoma City Thunder are like at home versus being on the road. But I will say this, Cody, and you let me know if you feel the same way. This is a game 7. Like, honestly, it really doesn't matter, like, if they're in Oklahoma City for this one for me. At least not as much as what other games would be like for the other games that where they played the Pacers. Like, obviously, we have seen the Indiana Pacers struggle in Oklahoma City so far through this, even though they have stolen one game in Oklahoma City, and that was game 1, obviously. But for me, I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, this is game 7. Both of these teams know what's on the line here. This is, you win, your legacy is cemented forever. If you lose, you have one more shot at another time, but that's where it all comes down to. Is it's a game 7. Both teams are about to come out here swinging. Everybody's going to be going 100 miles an hour. Everyone is going to be like going absolutely crazy over this. So what say you about just like everything that this game 7 entails? Like, do you think that OKC really has that big advantage being at home? Or do you think that the game 7 nature is just going to have it to where both teams are just going to go flat out crazy?
Yeah, man, I know we've talked about how the Pacers have struggled in Oklahoma City. I mean, it's a tough place to play for sure, but I think you're absolutely right. This is a game 7. I mean, both these teams, they know what's on the line. There's no more chances like to have bad performances. You can't. Like, this is it. It's win or go home. That's what matters. And so, yeah, I mean, obviously you like to have home field advantage or home court advantage, but I don't know. It's probably not as much of a factor to me as it's maybe been in previous games, because I just think both these teams they know it's at stake. They're going to, like you said, they're not going to pull any punches. They're going to go all out here in this game. And so I don't really think it's a big factor to me as much as it is in the past. And I don't have much to say other than I just think both these teams are going to bring it all. And I'm just excited to see what that looks like. And I tell you, man, the atmosphere is going to be absolutely electric in there. It's to be a fly on the wall for that game, man, would be just incredible. So I'm just overly, just so excited, man, that we're even to this point. Like, seriously.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And Pacers fans, we're loving this. Regardless of the outcome of this last game, this has definitely been the most exciting Pacers season that has ever happened. And it will definitely leave a lot of memories. Certainly hope that they can finish it here. Just talking real quickly to end it about, some players here. Cody, I don't know if you've been seeing some of the stats that have been put out through this week, but Pacers are the first team in NBA history to have 8 different players score at least 200 points each in a NBA postseason, which is truly incredible because it again shows that in any given night, this team, one random guy steps up and it's like the craziest thing that ever happens, right? Like in game 6, who was our leading scorer? Obi Toppin. Like Obi Toppin, who never starts games. He's a bench player, Cody. And he had 20 points. And the fact that nobody else on our team scored 20 points in that game is phenomenal. But yet you had 8 different guys that gave you double digits. And I mean, we remember, what was it, one of the games against the Knicks where Mathurin scored 27, put us in, contention for that, right? So, I mean, it's just wild that this is a team that it's not centered around one person, Cody. And, regardless of, I know the Oklahoma City Thunder obviously have a very deep team and they're able to spread the ball around on occasion. They got a few guys that can score. But that offense has to go through SGA. It has to. Otherwise, they just never keep up. But with the Pacers, that's not an issue. There's no one that needs to be the supreme leader of the offense. It's just any random person at any given time. Now, Pascal Siakam has been the most consistent guy at keeping offense. The Pascal Siakam is actually the only player for the Indiana Pacers this series that has scored 10 plus points in every game so far this series. So obviously he has been the most consistent. But it's not like Siakam is going out there getting you 25, 30 points a night like SGA has to. I mean, you can see this team, and this is just a team that is quite arguably just the most unselfish, the most star-ridden, but most calculated NBA Finals team that you've ever seen.
Yeah, no doubt. It's really incredible to see this. I mean, they're the true definition of a team, right? Like, you can have anybody off the bench. Like, you can have, like, obviously your stars. You can have them perform. You can have Tyrese, Pascal, some of those other guys really perform. But then all of a sudden, like you said, boom, a 27 point night from Mathurin. Boom, Obi Toppin leads you in scoring. Boom, TJ McConnell comes off the bench and is just electric. Like, you have so many guys on your roster that are so capable of stepping in and providing these crazy stat lines where you're just like, oh my gosh, like if you're opposing teams, you're like, man, this team just has so many guys. It's like waves and upon waves of players who could score and can play defense. Like, that's impressive in itself right there. Now, in this game, obviously, Derek, if we're going to talk about what the Pacers got to do in this game, I mean, let's face it, like, you need your stars to play like it. You need Tyrese. I know he's still a little bit hobbled, but you need him to be efficient like he was in game 6, right? You need him, even if he's going to be on kind of a minutes restriction, which I think it was really, by the way, really great that he didn't have to play in that fourth quarter. That gives him a little bit more rest on that, ankle.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need him to be, in the minutes that he plays, be efficient. Be aggressive. That's a thing, obviously, we know is a big deal for Tyrese when he's aggressive and he, is attacking and doing all those things. Pacers usually have a pretty good chance in those games. You need Pascal to continue to do what he does. You need Nesmith to continue to shoot like he is. Same with Nembhard. But honestly, Derek, you need Miles Turner. You need Miles Turner in this game to do more than he has done. I mean, let's face it, Derek, Miles Turner has stunk this series. He has been terrible this series on offense. Defense, he's been pretty good. Like, he's been pretty solid. He's had some good blocks. He's done some stuff. But offensively, I don't even know what Miles Turner's been doing this series, but he's been doing more harm than good for this Pacer team on the offensive side of things. And you need him to step up.
From 3.
What was it?
5 of 25 from 3.
Yeah, so you're like, okay, if you're not going to play, if you're just going to play defense, then we'll put in
And-
Tony Bradley.
And
who can
it's
at least
not
get a
even like
rebound.
his defense has been elite either, Cody. Like, I know
Yeah.
obviously the blocks, and that definitely has been a huge attribute to some of the wins that the Indiana Pacers have had. You know, when you won game 3 with all those turnovers that they were forcing. Miles Turner had 5 blocks in that game. That he was huge. Had a few big moments in game 1 at the end that started helping them bring them back. But outside of that, you're right. Like, he has offensively, he's been a liability. That's why his numbers continue to, or his minutes continue to shrink throughout these games, because you can't keep him out there, because offensively he's a liability. And it's not even been the fact that he's been contested. I mean, Cody, let me be completely honest with you. The majority of the threes that he gets, they're wide open. They're wide open. It's the stuff that he normally hits. But he has been terrible shooting the basketball. And when you're a from behind the arc center like he is, he's not a guy like Jokic that's constantly attacking the paint. Like, that's not his game. And if you're going to consistently not make shots from behind the arc, and you can't consistently play defense on anyone, then you need to be out. And it sucks that we've kind of had to be in that spot. You know, we've had points where Obi Toppin and Benedict Mathurin are playing against Chet because they've been better than Miles at being able to, 1, be able to help the offense, 2, have actually been able to stay in front of Chet. Like, Miles has been terrible in a lot of different aspects in this series so far. You gotta hope in game 7 he has a revelation, because if he doesn't, it's gonna very much suck for this offense, because, you know, he doesn't need to be a world beater. He just needs to make his shots. And again, it's not even been the fact that he's not making tough shots. He's not making easy shots, the shots that he's used to making. So, yeah, you're right. Miles Turner needs to be better in this one.
I feel like if Miles Turner even plays decent on offense, like, you feel great. Like,
Yeah.
that has been the biggest. I think that's been the biggest issue with this team. Now, obviously, there's been some inconsistencies. There's been some injuries to Tyrese, for sure. But to me, it's been Miles Turner has been the biggest problem with this Pacer offense for the most of this playoffs. And really, I feel like in the last couple series, he really hasn't been that great. So you need Miles Turner to have probably one of his better games of the playoffs this year to do that. And I think if Miles can do that, then he can kind of get back to some of his mojo, because Derek Miles can shoot it. Like, that's the thing that's weird. Is like, we know he can shoot it from beyond the arc. We know he can shoot it from mid range, but he just has not been making anything. It's been really weird. So I'm hopeful that this is the game that turns things around for him and maybe gives the Pacers some confidence, because obviously, you know, there's going to be some debate. Do you pay him? Do you not? But currently how he's playing, it's a little bit more of a conversation now on if you pay Miles or not. But hopefully here in game 7, he can do his part and help this team bring home their first championship. But it's going to be fun, man. I'm very excited to see how game 7 plays out on Sunday. So any last thoughts, man, you have here about this team, or anything else you want to discuss before we wrap this thing up?
Rick Carlisle, man, get in your bag on Sunday, man. Rick Carlisle, do whatever it takes, man. The oldest coach to ever coach in an NBA Finals, which is quite crazy to think about. I never would have thought that Rick Carlisle would be the oldest. But I need Rick Carlisle to pull out all the stops, man. Whatever you got to do to motivate. He doesn't even need to motivate these guys. If you're not motivated already at the fact that you're in a game 7 against a team that has won over 80 games this year, like, I don't know what else to tell you, man. Like, go out there and these next 48 minutes, play the hardest 48 minutes of your entire freaking life. Because if you win this, the NBA will never forget it. they will never forget that you were the most underrated team and have gone through the hardest path possible ever in the NBA Finals or in the NBA postseason in general as a 4th seed to do what you did. Cement your legacy. That's what you got to do here on Sunday.
I think you got to keep up the defensive energy as well because, I mean, they were just locking them down, dude. They got to do that. You know they're going to hit their shots. You know they're a great team. But, man, if you play the type of defense you played you played on Thursday, man, you have a great chance because, I mean, I haven't seen the Pacers do that in a while defensively. It's been pretty impressive, man. It's been pretty impressive. So game 7, like you said, got to go the hardest you've ever gone because this is for everything. All the marbles come down on Sunday night. We'll see if the Pacers can take care of business. Let us know your guys' thoughts here on the Pacers' chance here in game 7 of the NBA Finals. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, all that good stuff, and drop a comment. Let us know that you're here, hanging out with us here, watching this video. And if you stayed all the way through, thank you so much. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Thanks so much. And as always, go Pacers.